Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In this one we have a horse who's kind of presenting an interesting issue. She's having trouble taking the left lead, but the owner has suspicions that it may be physical. And I got to ride the horse a couple of months ago, and it felt really challenging to get that left lead. And I gave her a few things to work on, but she's still having trouble. And so I'm going to bring in my wife, Emily of Reaching Strides Equine Rehab, who's a certified equine rehab practitioner, and she's going to help us troubleshoot this.
Yeah, I'm excited to take a look, so let's see what we get. All right, so I'm here with Amanda and her horse, Vinny, and I'm going to proceed with doing an evaluation of Vinny and look at kind of the physical aspects of things and see if there's anything that I notice or can help with. So can you tell us a little bit about Vinny?
Vinny, she's 5 now. I got her when she was just coming 3.
Okay.
She had like 12 rides on her. The first probably summer of riding her, I just did a lot of like trail rides, and then I kind of started watching more Ryan stuff, and I was like, oh, I got a lot to work on, and went back and did, you know, a lot more groundwork stuff and more arena riding, and
then you discovered the problem with her, which is what?
She will not pick up her left lead under saddle.
She'll pick it up on the ground?
She will, like, sometimes.
Okay, so it's inconsistent on the ground, too.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she'll cross canter, like, if she does, she'll, like, be cross cantering all the time, and
or she'll flip back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any injuries in her past since you've had her, or that you know about?
The only thing that I know of is, like, the week after I bought her, we had her in a separate dry lot from the herd. It was maybe within the first like 4 days, and there was this paper bag floating around. Like, it was a really windy day, paper bag or plastic bag just floating around. I was at work. My aunt was in the house, so she said she was kind of watching this, and she was just like, "Oh my God," you know. And then the other horses were out in the pasture, so she was feeling really like nervous about it. So she was getting ready to walk out and get this bag, and she totally jumped like this 5-foot fence.
Okay.
And she got, I have pictures of it. She got, you know, she skinned herself up pretty good. Like
front legs.
Yeah, both insides here.
Okay.
But she never seemed lame or anything. So that's the only thing that I really...
That you could maybe think of.
Yeah, that I'm like, oh, maybe she really injured herself. More
with
than
that.
I thought.
Okay. Now, when you work her more consistently, does it get better? Does it get worse? Does it stay the same?
It stays the same.
Just the same.
Yeah. If you're riding or putting any weight on her, she does not want to pick it up.
And she has no problem with the right lead?
Yeah, no problem with the right lead.
Okay. Okay. And then, have you had the vet look at her? Have you done that kind of thing? And have they found anything?
No.
She does have shoes up front, I see. And she looks like she's wedged a little, too.
She is, because she has the mild, like, broke back.
Oh, broken ankle?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else physical that vets could find or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, being a physical therapist, you know, I like to watch them move and get a dynamic evaluation. Then we'll do a static where I get my hands on her and feel all kinds of things like range of motion, flexibility, joint play, that sort of thing. So we're going to do that now, and you guys can watch along.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to interrupt this video to let you know we finally have Rose horsemanship shirts available. So these are the shirts. They're pretty cool. Check them out. This is actually a picture that Tyler took of me with Alley Cat. So I think you guys are going to love them. You can get them for the next week after this video is released. We'll leave a link in the description below.
All right, well, go ahead and I'll let you know when to go up a gate, but just start her at a walk. That's good. Hard way first. So you can see how counterbent she is. Could be part of the environment change. Okay, go ahead and ask her to trot. I like the stretch. Okay, go ahead and ask her to canter. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. And back to a trot.
Trot.
Don't quite like the push off of the inside hind. Looks uneven to me. Looks better when she stretches. All right, go ahead and change directions and we'll look at her this way. It's a little counterbent this way too. More environmental, kind of just looking at things. Okay, go ahead and ask her to walk.
Ooh. Ooh.
So much better bend at the walk. Okay, and trot. Okay, and canter when you're ready. Does she ever crossfire when she's like circling right? Or not much?
Not really.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Okay, and then let's send her left again at the trot. Yeah, and you can go ahead and use some of your tools that you have to like help shape the ribs, if you can. That's totally fine. So I'm looking at her left hind right now and seeing some unevenness there because she can shape. Go ahead, like from this position, can you ask her to canter? From that stretch? Yeah. You can bring her in. Like the only real thing I saw online, I mean, besides the gait pattern, right, was like I was looking at the left hind, like it just looks uneven behind,
Okay.
kind of in push off and stuff, but get my hands on her now. So everyone watching, always look at both sides, the right and the left. You can't just look at one side. Anywhere she's sensitive to being touched, if I were to, okay. Which one's the higher wedge? The right or the left? Okay.
So yeah, she's lower on the right. This is the side that I see
More bulge.
on. And this left has definitely gotten stiffer.
Okay.
I notice when she picks it up or when I stretch her. And
Okay.
And she's had chiro about 4 times now. And they always say, like, I think it's like C4, 5, 6 or something. They always have to adjust
Adjust it?
Like there's something going on.
Okay. She a quarter horse?
Yes.
I know. She's like, don't squeeze my muscle. Don't like it. I'm feeling just right now, if I feel any tight muscles and just like quality of muscle tone, not from like a neuro perspective, but like does something feel tight? Does something feel like really loose, like, oh, I don't use it? So when I kind of palpate all these thoracic sling muscles, you can see there, you know, she kind of has a little reaction when I get on here and brachiocephalicus. And it's not as soft as I'd like it to be. There's tension through there. When I get in her left pecs here too, I just appreciate more tone than what I feel on the right. Some of her scapular stabilizers here, it feels tonic to me. And then her triceps for sure back here. But let's look at it in range of motion now. So I'm also looking at foot angles. Now you can clearly see the difference in the wedge between the 2 feet. All right, camera and you, watch this. Between the right front and the left front. So watch when I kind of ask for kind of just free mobility. What happens in the knee, what happens in the elbow, and what happens in the shoulder, right? So I can go in, I can go out, right? You know, you see pretty good mobility both ways. Then when I ask and look for like pec or chest mobility, I can bring it out towards my belly button. Pretty good. Watch this side now. I can go in as far as I want to, like more than I should. Hard block trying to come out. In, hard block, in, hard block. And it almost feels like in physical therapy, we talk about end feels. What do we feel? Is it a bony end feel? Is it a capsular end feel? Is it a muscular end feel? Is it a tissue apposition end feel? And it almost feels hard to me. Like what you'd feel when you extend your elbow, like two bones run into each other. It can't go any further. So that's really interesting. Now watch when I try and bring that leg out into abduction, so away from midline towards my belly button. There's like no range of motion, like nothing.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little more suspicious of something up here, because that rotation that I was asking for more comes from like shoulder scapular motion rather than like, so this is the equivalent of our wrist and then elbow. So like I can do this with my arm. This isn't wrist or elbow. This is all shoulder mobility. But it looks like I'm moving the other areas. So I start to think, what's going on in the shoulder here and up in the scapulothoracic joint? So
Kind of where I've always felt like something was going on,
but let me just finish a little bit more assessment here. And I'm guessing you have not had anything imaged really higher than the knee, because it does get quite hard to image stuff up here too.
So I was thinking about getting the neck done, but yeah, I have to make an appointment to go to UW for that.
Yeah.
So.
Good girl. Okay. Everything so far on that left hind felt fine, but always compare it to the other side. So this is where you look at good body mechanics, everybody watching.
Yeah.
Just grab the mounting block here so I can get up above her. So we'll look at her wither mobility. So these are her thoracic spinous processes right here. They're like this long in horses, because her cervical spine is actually like, I'm going to draw it on this side so the camera can see. It starts like up here where you can palpate the transverse process of C1. The spine then dives down here. So like all this is all just muscle and soft tissue. Dives down here.
Okay.
And then it comes back up, which is why this section of the horse is so inaccessible on imaging and palpation, because it's covered by the scapula. So you've got these spinous processes, which is what you can palpate on your back, that are like really, really long in the beginning of the thoracic spine. So what I'm looking at now is how do these rotate and how do these move when I compare, like stabilize one and mobilize the other. Do I get any pain response? Do I feel hypo or hyper mobility? Too little or too much mobility? A little bit stiff in like T3, T4, but we'll look at the rotation the other way too. So guys, I'm not doing chiropractic adjustment here. I'm just appreciating joint play, joint mobility. And it's all pretty darn nice all through there. Kind of some rib springing now. And now that I'm up here too, you can definitely see the asymmetry in the two shoulders.
Yeah.
We can even, in a second, we'll take the camera up here and show you guys that. Good girl. So rib springing felt normal, really limited motion there. So I'm asking the spinous process to go to the left right now. And it's tight. Tighter into the left rotation than right rotation, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Licking and chewing though. Hi.
It's like, keep rubbing me.
Yeah, she's like, keep doing that joint play. All right, do you want to hold her head straight? And I'm going to have the camera come in here. I want you to see if you can appreciate like how the asymmetry between the two shoulders with a square horse. like lack of, I mean, you could argue, is this side bulged and this side's under muscled, or is this side over muscled and this one is normal? You know, so that's kind of the thing we have to figure out. So, I mean, based on what I feel there, like, I would put this horse into pretty regular, and I can show you all this stuff too, but I kind of want to watch her go under saddle as well. I would put her into some like regular stretching if you don't already do that of the shoulder and base of the neck. I'd look into this diagnostically a little bit more because that's a really hard block. Do you want to feel it?
Yeah.
So like do this side first. So just pick up the foot like you're cleaning it out.
Okay.
And now just kind of just wiggle it, you know, back and forth, like internal, external rotation. Like, you know, you feel it's fluid. It can go in internal and external. Now, and appreciate the end feels. You know, they're kind of bouncy, kind of springy.
Right.
Like when you go in and out, like it just recoils nicely.
Yeah.
Now come on to the other side. You feel how much more in there is than out?
Yes.
So she's got all this external rotation of her shoulder and like zero internal rotation.
Yeah.
Like she's got like a couple degrees of internal and like excessive external rotation there, which it's like you start to ask the question like, is that because of her feet and like her angles? Is it because of an injury in the past? Is it because of just her anatomy? I don't know that answer. But it's, you know, a piece of the puzzle we have to think about that makes sense with the muscling patterns and the movement patterns that we see out of her. So I highly doubt this issue is behavioral. Maybe there's some behavior things there that she's just like, I can't, guys, like quit asking me. Like that's just too hard. But I think like if I was going to work further with her, I would maybe like a little bit more diagnostics, like base of the neck.
Yeah.
Like just make sure that looks okay. They should be able to catch elbow.
Okay.
That's where I would go with the next step of this, plus the stretches that I give you that aren't going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
But you can just like, if you palpate her triceps here, like you can just feel, like put your hand there. Like you can feel the tone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just more tonic in its resting state than it should be.
Yeah.
Like bandy.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like a tight muscle, like even all the way up into here.
Yeah.
Like you can just feel all that
Yeah.
restriction. You palpate that on the other side, it's nice and soft. You know, you can get some bands.
Yeah.
But like for the most
But
part, it just
definitely
feels like
better.
good quality
Yeah.
muscle on
Yeah.
this side.
Yeah.
So we've definitely got something going on in that left front that I'm suspicious of. So I can definitely show you some stretches I would do with her.
So tell us what you're thinking after you're doing your evaluation.
So in talking with Amanda, what we're going to do is, you know, I'm sending her back to the vet for further diagnostic work, and then hopefully she and I can continue to work together, depending on what we find, and just, you know, that further diagnostics will help guide our progression in rehab and helping her with this left shoulder issue and canter. But I think like the real big point to take away here is that sometimes it's not just one way to fix something. You might have to involve professionals of a different area that maybe you never thought of, or another professional can cue in a different discipline to kind of start to say like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Like, could this be something? What do you think? And kind of tag team and bounce off of each other. So.
Yeah, 100%. It's really easy when somebody asks me a question, especially something as specific as a left lead. I can go through all the different training things that we do to help horses get correct leads and that sort of thing. But you have to look a little deeper and be willing to be open-minded as a professional in the industry to say that this may not be under my jurisdiction. It might be a better professional to look at this for me. So to the professionals out there watching, make sure you guys stay open-minded and realize that horses can have behavior problems that stem from physical issues, and stay open-minded about it.